Wow, that's incredible. I love both the scope and of the music in combination with the. Hello, everyone. Welcome back, or welcome if you're here for the first time. I'm going to be taking a look at another Sabaton video today. I know my Sabaton friends have been waiting for this for a long time. We've already looked at 3 Sabaton videos before. Bismarck, Soldier of Heaven, as well as Christmas Truce. And another video that was requested a lot was Steel Commanders. So that's the one we're going to be taking a look at today. Been really enjoying their videos. They're just incredible in terms of scope, in terms of just their commitment to making these historically accurate videos, which have been so fun to watch. I just really admire what they do with these videos. As I understand it, this video was created in collaboration with a game developer who's the developer behind the game called World of Tanks. And the little peek that I had at this video, it looked pretty crazy in terms of all of the sort of video game style VFX that they used in this video, and they sort of combined it with live action. So I'm really keen to see what they did and maybe kind of figure out how they did it. And that's exactly what we do on this channel. So in case you're new here, I'm Manon. I'm a filmmaker, and on this channel, I basically talk about how people make music videos, what kind of goes into making them, the sort of more technical aspects. So I really love analyzing shots and lighting and that kind of thing. So without further ado, let's just get into the video, shall we? Wow, that's incredible. I love both the scope and of the music in combination with the video itself, because it just looks so grand, and it sounds grand too, with the choir in the background. Really cool. This all seems live action, so they must have shot this somewhere in a field. With just this segment, I think a lot of what we saw afterwards was not live action, was generated in VFX. But this is a really cool sequence, and kind of just wanted to walk through it. First of all, something I really noticed here is how desaturated it all is. Like everything is sort of grayish. The only really standout color that we see is the red of the fire here, as well as the red of whatever this is in the background. Then we see through his helmet, which is a really cool effect. Really love that, really, to get his perspective of what's happening on this field, which is really intense. And then this beautiful shot where the camera is sitting low and it's positioning it in such a way that it makes him feel bigger and grander and stronger. Really cool effect, really well done. And the sky here also just looks beautiful. But again, as you can see, it's really desaturated because the sky is so grayish, you barely see the blue of the sky. And then this really cool effect. Love this moment on the hands, very powerful. Love this yellow in the background. Because it was so desaturated, it stands out more. So it's really powerful. And then obviously this is so cool. It's really cool to see how this whole thing just sparks on this field. It's a wonderful effects here. That's really, really nice. I'm curious to see what it all means. Kind of an intro, like a film, like a title card. That's really, really a nice touch. Or a game, honestly. And then this was also a very, very nice segment where he's walking and the background just changes. It's possible that the guy is still the same actor maybe as they work with on the field, and they put him in front of a green screen. That's very likely. I don't think all of him is basically VFX. And then we cut to the feet of this dude, and then that transforms into Sabaton's singer's feet, Joachim. It's a really nice transition, and it sort of gives you the feeling, the sense that it's actually him that's on the battlefield. And that's sort of how we use those types of editing and filmmaking tricks to give you an idea that may or may not be true, but here it works really well. And the lighting here is nice too. I like these sort of lines here. And then we cut to the band playing. They start playing. And as always, they're dressed in their camo pants. Oh, this is interesting. Do you see here in this thumbnail how they basically, this is only like 2 seconds later, but they basically modeled the shot to be the exact same. So really, again, eliciting the idea that he is actually the one that's in this mask here, in this helmet. Because he's holding his microphone the exact same way as this guy is holding his sword. And the whole shot is the same. It's the same kind of medium close type of shot. Really nice effect. Really, really love that. Very cool. That's it. The whole thing. Love that. That's really cool. And I wonder, do we see some of the same effect? Yeah, it must be the same as this effect on his hands happening there, much like we saw before on the sword of this guy. So yeah, exactly that. Then we're introduced to the tanks, which again, we're working with all of these really cool sparks. So it's looking very almost magical, really. And definitely looking grand. Love here the contrast between the warm tones of this sort of magic and the more cool tone background. It's just really looking very cool. And this is where we really get the World of Tanks vibe more strongly, obviously, because they're tanks. Where I think this must be set in the First World War again. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm curious to see what story they're going to tell this time. So let's just continue playing. So let's take a look at some of the stuff that we saw in this segment. First of all, I wanted to point out that I really love this setting where they're playing here. We have this really beautiful, kind of really atmospheric, a little bit smoky set here. It looks like they're in a warehouse, maybe. Love this. They really had those smoke machines running to get this sort of hazy atmosphere almost. But they really filled the room with so much smoke that it almost feels like they're there, or that it's like smoke from a fire caused by whatever's going on outside. Like it's really almost sort of to place them in the scene of what's happening with the tanks, and that's really cool. We have a beautiful contrast between the orangey, almost red-toned, brownish, warm color here with the more cool-toned here, which is really nice. It almost feels like there's a fire happening here, which might be causing the smoke. So it's a cool effect, very cool effect. And then what was kind of interesting to me to see is that we have a little bit of a difference in the amount of detail that we see in the tanks. So here it still feels, it looks a bit more realistic. There's a lot more detail. But then later on, when we get to this part, it looks far more gamey, if that makes sense. I'm interested to see if anyone knows why that is, or if these are actually like scenes from the game, because the other ones look more like cutscenes from a game, and then this looks more like the game itself, maybe. So I wonder if anyone knows, and the effects look a little different, but still cool. I mean, we have all this stuff going on the battlefield, and the tanks are fighting. They're actually like driving into the trenches. So obviously we're in First World War, right? Like I was curious before, but now I'm sure. And we have a lot of these interesting shots here, just a lot of very dynamic cutting, like camera movements, interesting when the band is playing. But generally just pretty assured and no like real crazy shaky camera movement. So it feels very filmy. Like some music videos, you'll see a lot more shaky camera. But if they had done that, it would have contrasted and clashed a little too much, I think, with the almost movie-like sequence that we're seeing with the tanks here. So it works well. That's cool. You went into the tank. That's okay. So something that I really appreciated in this part was that, first of all, just the absolute carnage and brutality of these tanks and how they're just completely decimating this town is just, yeah, it's brutal. Like that was just, it's so violent. Really kind of upsetting. Just it's tough. It's cool to see and all the effects, but also like the violence is just intense, you know? But something that I just wanted to call out and appreciate is I mentioned before is where I felt like they were lighting and setting the warehouse that the band is playing in as if they were there in this town. And so you can also tell from sort of the color grading too, is like all the tones are very similar to what we're seeing here. So they really tried to match that and be consistent. So we have the cool tones and then the warmer tones from the fire. And you saw the same thing in where the band was playing. And then when we cut back to the band, it actually, like the warehouse looks destroyed. And that's incredible. So they basically probably shot the band playing throughout, you know, they played the whole song and shot the whole song in one setting where the warehouse was not destroyed, and then they shot it again with this new complete set decoration where the actual warehouse looks like it was destroyed and there's fire in the background. I don't know if that's real fire. It looks like it's real fire, so they must have really paid attention. Or another thing they may have done is, and you might be able to see it here a little bit, is they put a green screen up, a really big one, and you can kind of see here where maybe this is, there's some outline here and around here where they cut it out and basically projected or like overlaid it with a green screen background. And that way you avoid having to have real fire on a location like that. And it's possible they shot the entire thing on a stage, by the way. So they, even in the previous shots, so it's possible that we sort of see the stage, maybe this is the stage, and you sort of see the outline here. Maybe these beams are there, this one. No, and then the stage where the drummer is sitting, and then behind that is the actual green screen. And that way, maybe this is smoke on the actual set, and then everything behind them is green screen. I don't know, maybe someone can confirm whether they shot this in an actual warehouse and they dressed it, or was shot on a stage with a green screen. But either way, it's done very well, because even if it was shot on a green screen, what I love here is you can actually see this warm tone light reflecting on the drummer here on his set, on his kit, and the background really matches those tones, which it's really hard to match the exact colors and lighting in VFX sometimes. So maybe it was actually a warehouse. So I don't know. I'm going back and forth. Let me know if you know. It's really well done. And so this is what I'm thinking is like, maybe it is actually a warehouse and they actually dressed it and lit parts on fire. Oh, I can't decide. It looks like it was shot in an actual warehouse and must have just dressed it. But, Sabaton's tricked me before with their nice VFX, so I don't know. Can't make up my mind. It works really well. And then we transition into the tank. So again, to make us feel as if they're actually in these tanks, much like how we see the warrior in the opening, and it's sort of hinted at that that's Joachim. And then now we're made to feel like they're actually in this tank that we're seeing driving around. So let's see where it goes. But it looks really cool, and I love that they probably built like the interior of a tank somewhere and shot in there to make it really feel like they were in there. Oh, love this lighting. Oh, power up. Oh boy. Wow. Oh, there's more. Oh. Level up? Oh, cool. So much that happened in that final 2 minutes. Incredible. That was so cool. So I love how they were able to sort of really give it that game vibe with the I don't know, magic sparkle. It really feels like at some point they got a power up, and they had to fight the other tanks, and really a strong game vibe, that's for sure. What a great marketing collaboration too. Really smart. I feel like it really brought two brands together and joined their audiences. And I love that. That's really like natural marketing that works well for both parties. You know what I mean? And it doesn't feel too inserted. In a way, obviously it is, because it's clearly a collaboration, and it's a marketing for the game. But then again, I'm sure that all of the players who are already playing this game were also really interested to check out this video by Sabaton, So it's just more organic that way, I feel like. So I wanted to just point out is that they must have built this set for this tank, the interior for the tank, and I really love the lighting here. I love the lighting on their faces, and we see some red, which I'm assuming is supposed to sort of emulate as if there's buttons here in the tank that maybe are casting like a red glow. And then we have more so the bluish light, the cooler light coming from the outside. And it's looking really tense. And, at some point they get hit. Wanted to point out this moment. It's so funny to me that he has these glowing eyes. And I don't know if he has like special vision or something, or if the magic is enhancing his abilities or something. And oh, wait, this is also a callback to what we were seeing before, where we saw the guy with the helmet who had the glowing eyes too. So it is him. So maybe it's supposed to be like he's a really old entity who's like from the olden days, and he's lived to this time, and now he's fighting war for in this age. Right? Maybe I'm off. Maybe I'd love to hear what you think about that idea. Yeah, just lots of really cool shots here of him. And I always love that Sabaton gives such a good performance. Like, they always seem really in on acting in their videos. And that I always love seeing that. Like, a lot of bands will, work with actors who play in their videos and then they're just performing. But I love it when the actual band members, if they have acting skills, that they're actually participating in acting. So it's I always love seeing that. And Sabaton always does. Like, they're always involved in the actual storytelling of the video, the storytelling part of their videos. So that's I love that. Really cool. And then they get hit and they survive. And again, like this shot too, really wonderful. Again, it makes me think that maybe it was shot at an actual, maybe abandoned warehouse, and they dressed it. This then, it really doesn't feel like it's a green screen. Again, might be wrong, but it really does feel like it was a practical location. So really wonderful shot. Really love this. It's a very wide angle, and we see a lot of the environment, and everything's destroyed, and then she takes off with her cello, and it's a really, really cool shot. Really love this too, this moment where he's actually jumping off of the tank. Some really kind of more extensive VFX here. I don't know if they had like maybe a practical little thing for him to jump off of. I don't think so. It's really cool. They managed to convincingly make it seem as if they were actually getting out of this tank and place them there in this environment. And here, obviously, you can see pretty clearly that it is a green screen. So maybe it was a green screen after all, and the warehouse too is a green screen. I don't know. Either way, I love this. What a great video. Really, really, I love how they always work with really people who know what they're doing. They always seem to work with like high-end filmmakers. And I really think it's a very smart marketing collaboration. So anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed this, quick analysis of their music video. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I cover more of Sabaton. As I mentioned, I have more of their videos already on my channel, so you can take a look. I also have a Patreon that you can support. You get access to some of my own work, as well as a peek behind the scenes of the feature film that I'm working on and have been working on for a while. And I write short stories on there too, so it's a good time. I take inspiration from some Sabaton stuff here and there, especially the short that I worked on in November. So keep an eye out for that one. And we have a Discord server, if that's your thing, where we all stay in touch and have a great time talking about our favorite music videos as well as movies and games. So yeah, either way, all that said, I hope you take care and I hope to see you on the next one. Peace.